We have lost the true identity of quality over quantity. Now, we all know that the world nowadays is based upon greed and what companies can make the most money and how they can advertise unhealthy and healthy habits. More likely unhealthy habits, because nowadays the world is so cruel to where they want people to turn to obesity and laziness and living unethical living standards. And this doesn't even apply to food. It can apply to your job. It can apply to life. It can apply to anything. It could apply to your energy, your soul. It can apply to so many things. But more importantly, I want to talk about food. Over the years, we have seen a big change in how shopping and how people get their nutrition, their food. Fast food is, for an example, one of those things where it's damn near being consumed by everybody. Over 80% of male and female adults, or adults in general, consume fast food. And majority of the time it's because it's convenient. Labor is so damn cruel to where we're working these 10 to 12 hour shifts. And sometimes we pick up extra shifts just so we could put food on the table and have some money to provide for us and our families. And when you got people that they're going to buy the McDoubles and the Big Macs and the Baconators and all that shit, you can kind of fuck around with it. You can kind of not put your all into it. And we know the meat ain't really real anyway. We know that some of the meat is like, shit, sometimes they probably giving you leftover shit from the previous 2 days and just putting it in the oven, or, because I'm going to be real. There's no way like these fast food restaurants really be putting they all into this shit. Like we not stupid. Like, it's fast food for a reason. Like, when it comes to, like, for example, like Captain D's, like, I ain't gonna lie, I don't know how people trust Captain D's fast food. Like fast food fish and shrimp. Like, let's be real. Like, there's no way you putting that in your system and not turning into a goddamn Resident Evil 7 variant zombie. Like, come on, bro. Like, let's be real. Not even 7. Resident Evil 3 or 4 zombie. When they come flying at you and shit and they look all fucked up. Like, that's what you're going to end up looking like eating that shit. And, nowadays, grocery stores, like, they increase the hell out of the prices, especially when it comes to trying to eat healthy. Like, the cheap shit, like, the candy aisle and everything just basically inside the store, not things that's on the boundary of the store. That shit is just mad cheap. And it's for a reason. They're trying to build people to be obese. They're trying to build people to be in unhealthy conditions so they can go to these doctors and these hospitals and health cares and urgent cares and fleece them of their money. And now you in a long life living of debt, because they ain't charging you, just some small little fees. Like, nah, like if you don't got no health care, even if you do got health care, you got to pay, and that's just unfortunate. And when it comes to trying to stay healthy, like, all the stuff that's really healthy for you are exceeding the prices that it really should be. Like, a small pack of like some fruit or something is fucking like $8 to $10, And like I said, it's all for a reason. They don't want us to be healthy. They don't want us to be well aware of situations. They want us to be stuck. They want us to be sheep to a system that they've been building long before I was even alive, So, the quality and the quantity, it's not really the same no more. It's not really how it used to be. And, obviously the world has to change. There has to be change in the world, whether that's good change or bad change. Change has to happen. It's just the fact that we're in it. We're in the change. Like, we're going to be in the history books when it comes to future education and future kids trying to learn what life is like. History is told by the nigga, I ain't in no war, but history is told by the victor. It's that simple, And no individual organization could make change to something that, the higher ups are doing. We can't change that shit. But what you can do is change yourself. You could change the way you eat, the way you sleep, the way you work yourself, the way you go out and put the work in on your body, on your mind, and your soul. You could change that. And food is a big part of it. Food and your sleep is a big part of keeping yourself maintained to a healthy, living style. But yeah, it's just, food in general, like Whole Foods and stuff like that, like, cooking your own foods and doing meal preps, that stuff is so expensive. And, just one job is not going to get you, especially if you're living in an apartment. Oh, excuse me, a car going by. Or you living somewhere where it's expensive. Like, you're living in Atlanta, or you living somewhere in Los Angeles or in Houston. Well, I don't know if Houston is expensive. I just know Atlanta and Los Angeles and New York is very expensive because, those are the common places, people love to go to, on vacation, or sometimes even Florida, and fucking Jacksonville, the good part of Jacksonville. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, it's very hard. And that's why people resort to the quick and easy route, just going out and getting you some, especially if you a McDonald's guru, you got hella points on your fucking account. You go in there every day. And there's really no healthy solution if you just working all day. You ain't got no wife to cook food for. You don't have a significant other to, grill you some chicken, make some broccoli, get you some rice, getting you a good protein meal. Or you ain't got a girl that wakes you up and cook you breakfast before you go to work and shit like that. Like, there's a lot of things that go into why we resort to these things that lose quality, and all they want is the quantity. McChicken, $5. I remember as a kid, me and my parents was just talking about this too, because we was reminiscing on the good old days. I remember a double stack from Wendy's used to be like 99 cents. Now that shit is like $3. And yeah, 99 cents, it's worth your time. Double stacks add up and you're going to get fat. But it's just more of the simple fact that you're not getting your bang for your buck anymore. Like, there should be no reason where you go out, even if you do go out to fast food, there's no reason that you have to go out and you have to pray to God that somebody isn't having a bad day and they just carelessly preparing your food. Your shit might be cold. Like, nigga, I walked into the office today and there was folks getting McDonald's and they was like, yeah, bro, they gave me the extra dry fries and shit that they leave at the bottom of the containers and shit like that. Like, they just, the ones that be sitting out and shit. And it's just like, you don't want to have to hope that your meals come out to be mid, especially if you're spending your hard-earned money on shit that you thought was just going to be some, something to get you through the night, get you through the day. Because like I said, you working, so you don't know you don't know when you might get your next meal. You don't know when you might go on break. So that's one of the key factors of why I say quality and quantity has lost its touch, has lost its identity. Like, it should always be quality over quantity. You feel me? Now, I'm going to just talk about this in small increments because I've said this in a previous video about gaming. But yeah, just gaming industry, quality has lost. People, companies don't really resort to having good quality games no more. And I just want to point out something too about, 2K, because, they just pulled out the recent news that they've made a lot of money from 2K25 due to in-game purchases like, Pro Pass and VC and all that shit. And they knew what they was doing when it came to getting people cap breakers and the rep rewards revolving around cap breakers and all that stuff. Like, they knew what they was doing because they knew people wanted to buy that shit. Because if you hit, say for example, if you hit Vet 2 or if you hit Starter 3, then you get 10 cap breakers alone for your build. Mind you, if you grind the pass, the basic pass, you get 40. You get 1 cap breaker per season. If you're a grinder, then you're going, you know what I'm saying? Then you're going to, have a super quote unquote demigod build. But they're not going to, just off that alone, that they've made a lot of money throughout the past 2K25, nigga, they're not going to improve that game. Nigga, they're going to go back to the same bullshit RNG, pro play AI physics where it's just clunky and we got AI depending on if the move going to be smooth or not. Like, they don't got people in the fucking suits no more replicating the moves. Like, they don't bring the NBA players to the goddamn, I guess the place. I don't know what it's called exactly, but I guess the studio room, and they do their moves and shit like that they be doing in real life, in game. Like, they don't take time out of shit no more. And, it's not going to stop, bro. Like, it's dead ass not going to stop. They're going to continue to do the same thing, and it's not going to take one person to stop buying the game. That's not going to happen. That's not how life works. One person can't make a change. Not even 10 people could make a change. Not even 1,000 people could make a change, because these companies are supported by billions of people. And you got to remember, it's not just adults playing these games anymore. It's kids. It's teens. And, you know, when you're a kid, you're trying to just get the best out of your fucking game that you're playing. When you're a teen, you know, all you got is fucking school, homework, and then what? I mean, some of them might have a part-time job, you know, working at McDonald's or working at Walmart or something. But outside of that, they don't got nothing but time. So, yeah, bro, like gaming as a whole, you know, 2K, Call of Duty, we're just not even trying to make a good Call of Duty anymore. Like producing a Call of Duty every year, you know, bringing movements that's been in Call of Duty for years. Like, nigga, that shit is like Call of Duty. It's all just a cosmetic fucking, it's just a fucking clown show, a cosmetic clown show. It's just an auction house, you know, putting shit up for the billboards or putting shit up for auction and you buying it. And then now your player or your operator just has that skin. Like, that's literally all Call of Duty is. And they just gonna keep the same little nostalgic little maps and shit or whatever. Like, yeah, we get it, bro. The Nuke Towns, you know, Summit, Firing Range. Yeah, we get it, bro. We get it, bro. Derail. Yeah, we get it, bro. I understand. Yeah, bro, I get it, bro. Like, you know, Uprising, all that shit, bro. We get it, bro. But that's not really making the shit good. We're just going on the nostalgic trip that all these companies go towards now, because they know a lot of these people that play Call of Duty mostly are kind of like, you know, within the teenage to I guess the beginning ages of 20s range. And, you know, they lived through the good old days of Call of Duty, game chat, you know, talking your shit, not being able to fucking get reported and get banned for trying to, you know, talk your shit. Like, on the, like, this generation's so soft, but, you know, it's just not the quality anymore. Like, that shit is just, it's just about we're basically in the fucking pyramid scheme. That's basically how I want to say it. Like, when it comes to these fucking corporations, these video games, it's just a pyramid scheme, bro. It's literally just a pyramid scheme. And the Take-Two logo is in the middle of the goddamn triangle, literally. And I also want to say too that when it comes to the game passes for PlayStation and Xbox, yeah, they don't give a fuck about people who buy that shit anymore. Like, those games they be putting on the Game Pass is just straight bullshit. Like, they don't give it, like, it's just crazy. I want to throw that in there too, because I'm a Game Pass Ultimate member, and nigga, I ain't gonna lie, it's convenient because you got hella games you could play, but still, those games is like, I download them, I try them, but it's like, you know, every indie game is not gonna be intriguing. Like, every other game, you know, it's not gonna be fun, you know, especially if you're someone who, you know, who wants to be more immersed. You know, you want a meaningful game. You know, you don't want to just play a game. It's just, you know, it's just a game. You feel me? Like, you want to have a plot. You want to have a rise in action. You want to have a climax. You want to have a fall in action, and, you know, shit like that. And that's another thing I want to talk about too. I want to talk about subscriptions when it comes to the quality and quantity. Like, these subscriptions that we be paying for, especially if you watch sports. You know, a guy like me, you know, playoffs is happening. And even before the playoffs, you know, I just wanted to watch a couple teams that aren't the fucking Lakers or aren't fucking, you know, Boston. You know, big organizations like New York. You know, those organizations. I don't want to keep watching the same little organizations. Like, we get it, bro. They're big time. You know, they're pulling in a lot of views, getting a lot of revenue. We get it. You know, I want to watch a couple of you know, OKC, I wouldn't even say they are a big market team. They just starting to get a big market team, but I wouldn't even say they are a big market team. Like, OKC, you know, I want to watch I want to watch some Memphis games. You know, I want to probably watch some Sacramento games, you know, probably some Pacers games, you know, or even some Toronto games or some Pelicans games. You know, I want to watch different, even Magic, the Orlando Magic. I want to watch different brands of basketball. You feel me? And, you know, like I said, you know, those teams, they bring in hella revenue. We get it. Like, they're big time market. But at the same time, it's like, I shouldn't have to, like, pay for mad subscriptions and be flipping through mad subscriptions like HBO Max and all that shit just to find a game that I want to watch. Because nowadays, television, they don't have all the games that you could watch. You know, it's not like the NFL when you got DirecTV. And DirecTV, they'll have all the games playing. Well, last time I had DirecTV, you know, my parents, you know, paid for that. You know, they had every game you could watch that was going on that day. You could just, if you had a man cave and you had different TVs, you know, you could flip through, you could watch 3 games at once. Or, you know, sometimes they even have it to where it's like multiple games playing at one time on one screen. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit like that. Like, we need shit like that. These subscriptions, we all know it's for, you know, greedy purposes, obviously. Like, you know, we're not stupid. But, you know, it's it's just lost its touch, you know, the quantity and the quality of, you know, these subscriptions. You know, it used to mean something. You know, Netflix used to mean something. Hulu used to mean something. Now it's just, I mean, if you got Netflix, I mean, majority of the time niggas going on Netflix just because they got some hoes they want to fuck or something. They trying to have a video, or not a video, a show going on. You know, let the show play out for like 30 seconds to a minute, and they ain't trying to clap some buns. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, because there's not a lot of shows that's, well, to me, there's not a lot of shows that I would watch in my downtime. I don't even like watching shows in general, or movies in general. But, you know, when I was watching shows, there wasn't really a lot of shit on Netflix. Like, you would have to bank on classics like, you know, Friday After Next, or, you know, I like hood movies. I don't want to say I grew up in the hood, but I definitely grew up with people that was in the hood and they got out of there. I like to watch those type of stuff, or like, you know, the Extraction 2, like those type of shows. I like action shows and I like shit like that. And Netflix really don't got a lot of that shit for real. I mean, they do. Don't get me wrong, but I've watched all of them. Like, what else am I gonna watch now? Like, I'm not the type of watch the Bridgerton or some shit like that. Like, you feel me? Like, and you know, like I said, Netflix is a wide variety of things you could, you know, watch on there and shit like that. So, you know, but I just say, like, the subscription and the prices and shit like that, it don't add up to what it should be in general, you know. But yeah, that's my take on quality over quantity and how it lost its identity. And, you know, if you relate to what I had to say, man, if you got anything you want to share about quality over quantity in the comments below, hey, let me know, man. Let me know how y'all feel. I love each and every one of y'all, man. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Y'all stay up, stay motivated, stay positive, stay disciplined. Stay yourself, man. Always stay yourself. Don't let nobody else tell you what you should be in life. Like I said, I love each and every one of y'all. Thanks for the support for the channel, man. We really been consistent. We're going to keep going. I love y'all. I'm going to just let the gameplay ride out. And, yeah, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.
Friend, what do you expect? I give him a massage? Shit! When I was in the army, we were going on a mission to ambush a squad that killed a lot of innocent people. They were our enemies, but we never did it. There were 15 of us, all boys from the village. But one of us betrayed the group. It was a setup. For money. 12 people died. 3 escaped. I know the traitor was not me. So for 10 years, I've been searching for the other 2. One of them lives here.
Why are you telling me this now? Do you always get sentimental after you kill people?
You kept asking.
Wonderful. You're here on some revenge mission for something that happened 10 years ago, and you don't care whose life you ruin anyway.
No.
Well, what?
I don't know. I just want to know why they did it.
Well, right now, I don't think you're going to find out. Let's hide the body, at least for a while.
Put him in the river.
Your fasting is going to kill us. Shit. We should get out of here.
You go. I'll catch up with you later.